Hello, everyone. Scott Solari here with Vyral Marketing. I work directly here with Frank Klesitz in San Diego. Frank was feeling a little under the weather today, so I'm sitting in to do our monthly database hangout today. And we're fortunate to have an amazing guest, Hal Sweasey. He works, he's a Remax broker in San Luis Obispo. And he's been a longtime client, over 4 years, and he's been really working his database, and you get what, about 60% of your business out of your database every year. So thanks for being here, Hal. Tell us a little bit about your business and your background.
Well, has Frank been in San Diego very long?
2 years.
Okay, tell him not to go down to Mexico. He won't get that stomach flu again.
Okay, I'll tell him.
So I've been in business about 25 years. Built my business probably off prospecting, reasonable, follow up with my clients, and then I got connected with you guys 4 or 5 years ago, and I knew I was missing a lot of good relationships I had built but not sustained. So Viral allowed me to sustain it. So I'm going to guess that when I started with you guys, I was just trying to break over 100 transactions, and I think either 11 or 12. That's when I did that. And that in my market, that means $1 million in income. So that was a big jump for me. And then I've steadily progressed it since that time. And oops, sorry, I'm going to try to keep this from ringing. It's going to ring in the background. So I steadily progressed from that. So last year I did about 155 transactions between me and a buyer's agent, which was just shy of $2 million. And this year, goal is go beyond that. So the viral marketing has made me be able to leverage my time a little bit better, and really stay connected with a core group of people who are my supporters and advocates.
Awesome. So, and that's amazing. I love, the lean and mean profitability type of business. That's great. And I kind of want to start with one of the big pieces is, a lot of newer agents will have a database, but it's only, 400 or 500 people strong. What have you been doing proactively, not just now, but throughout your career to build a database with a very, good SOI, a group of people that really know, like, and trust you?
Sure. So my market in San Luis Obispo on the Central Coast, we have a lot of second homes. We have a lot of rental properties. And so, I do a good job and I work with sellers. I sell their house, they leave. There goes my referral source for the most part, right? So they're out of town. It's not as good. So probably 10, 12 years ago, I started to make a concerted effort to go, okay, I coach my kids' soccer team. I'm going to call up all the parents and just say, hey, by the way, do you know I'm in real estate? You have a resource. Mind if I'm that resource for you? Great. I'll keep you updated once in a while. Anybody I can help you with now, build that relationship. So I became that, and I built a lot of great clients. So I built it through just really making a proactive effort to reach out to my sphere of influence and let them know I'd like to establish that relationship. Ask their permission. Once I did, it was great. Okay, so I started with that. Now the great thing about Viral is I also call around a lot of listings and sales, and we have a lot of owners that don't live here. They might live in the San Fernando Valley, or a lot of farmers from Fresno, Bay Area, whatever it is. And they'll have a property down here, and I'll go, boy, you don't want to sell now, but obviously small changes in the market have a huge impact on your investment. Your neighbors have asked to be updated on the market. Would you like to be included in those updates? Sure. Great. Let me jot down your email address. Okay, wonderful. So then they're on my viral list. Boom, you guys, they get on the video list. Or if I'm prospecting around a listing and they're local, I don't know them, I don't make much of a connection, but well, gosh, why don't I just send you the link to the listing, and that way you'll have it. If you hear of it, oh, okay, that's fine. It's innocuous, it's harmless. That's a little bit more subversive, like I really didn't ask for it, but at least I get something out of a prospecting call rather than just a no. So between calling my sphere, bringing them in, and then when I'm doing my outreach, adding those people in, I get a lot of people who just call me. It's just, oh, I get your videos. So it's a great way to stay in touch.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing, because people are like, all right, well, you're calling all these different lead sources or people. Where are you getting the phone numbers to make those phone calls?
Good question. So, we have the 1-800 numbers on the sign. So every time we capture a phone, Lindsay, my buyer's agent, handles 99% of those. She's always trying to see if they're a neighbor from out of town, see who's there. So even if it's somebody that owns a house in the neighborhood, hey, Hal, here's a phone number for Bill and Bob Smith, Bill and Betty Smith on Banana Street. Great, I put them in the system. So when I'm prospecting, I have basically a database of everybody. So when I'm prospecting, I search that. So over the years, I've accumulated those numbers. I use the cold directory. I've got another guy that looks up phone numbers through me. We use all sorts of sources. So
Got it.
And again, because I'm in a small market, the city of San Luis Obispo, we've got like 99 active listings. So I'm not big. I don't have many expireds. I don't have many FISBOs. So I got to rely on my database, working that, building it, and calling around listings and sales.
Perfect.
That's the meat of my business. And our for sale signs. We get a lot just from being a good listing agent. So, from sign calls and now Trulia and Zillow, I guess I should add those as well.
Got it. So what is taking this, instead of a passive approach, a very proactive approach to be this trusted advisor of your database and taking this approach of knowing that, hey, I can actually send something of value when I do reach out to these people and tell them I'm going to. What's that? How has it changed kind of when you do have conversations with people who are getting your videos?
Okay, so do you mean what's my conversation, the actual video, the content, or what's my conversation when I'm following up with people directly?
Following up with them directly.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I try to just see what's happening in the marketplace, and I usually have a general theme. But again, I like to tailor it a little bit to a client. So, for example, what I do now most often is if I take a listing in a subdivision or a small area, I'll just search that street in my database and go, who are my past clients that are there? And I'll notify them first. Hey, Bob and Sally, just so you know, I listed Joan Odom's house there. We put it on at 739, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Who do you know? Great. What questions do you have for me? What's next for you guys in real estate? That's the basic tone of the conversation. Always ending, hey, thank you for taking the time. Thanks for taking my phone call. I really appreciate it. If we can help anybody you know, call me immediately. So that's pretty much it. It's not rocket science. They know why I'm calling, and I always thank them. And there's some people that's, and you get a feel of who are the clients, are the connectors. They're the ones that know everything that's happening in the neighborhood. They have a big social group and so forth. And then I have certain past clients or sphere where it turns out, you know what, they may never meet another person in their lifetime, and they're not going to be a great referral source. So I dig and kind of quantify them. Here's a client that'll send me referrals every chance they get. I should pay them. They're such good referral sources, good solid ones, and then ones that, they'll get occasional touch by me. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time just because they're not the type of person that runs into people a lot.
Got it. So, and just real quick, everyone, just so you know, all the viewers that are watching, up in the right corner, there's some little squares. Click in there. There's a Q&A application that will open on the right side of your screen. You can ask questions and we'll get them answered at the end of this hangout. So another question I wanted to fire you is talk to me a little bit about the videos, the content that you try to get out to your database and the response that you've been seeing for the last 4 or 5 years from those videos.
Sure. Well, I can tell you there's so many side benefits from the service you guys provide. And one of them in the beginning for sure were my presentation skills. I mean, how often does someone sit in front of a camera, record their presentation? Well, you do it and you send it out to 500 to 2,000, 5,000 people. It needs to be better than it was. So my presentation skills definitely have improved. I always try to turn it into a question. So here's what is the question for the day. And you guys are really great at helping us get more of I guess you would call it a catchy intro or label for, for it. So it does catch their eye because people get so many emails now. It's like, how do I keep from losing thousands of dollars on the sale of my house? Okay, that's catchier than, so the labeling is very important. And then finally, I would say topics that are always of value are what's happening in the marketplace. And I'm on top of that. That's one of my strengths anyway. So I'm very good at presenting that. I think my last video talked about our high-end market. The number of $1 million plus sales in the last 2 years has gone just straight up. So our high-end market's doing very strong. So that was one of my videos. What's going on? What's selling? What's not selling? Now it's okay. If you're going to sell, you really need to prepare because there's changes coming in the financing market. They're going to slow down all our escrows. Escrows that used to take 30 days are now going to take 45. So, save yourself some time, save yourself some money. We're going to help you do some things up front. So just trying to bring forth what is happening in the marketplace. And then I'll interview people as well. So there's just so much information out there that we assume our clients know, but that can be of great value to them. So I wouldn't assume that they know anything. I would bring stuff to the marketplace and bring to bear the stuff that you think on an everyday basis that they don't know about.
Got it. And then when you're talking to people that are receiving your videos, I mean, what's that conversation like? Is it an easier conversation than normally talking to someone that, doesn't know exactly who you are, right?
Yeah, it builds credibility for me instantly. Again, a fair portion of the people that are in the database getting the videos may have only talked to me once or twice, right? But
Right.
they're the ones that are going to go, hey, I'll get an email. I'll get anywhere from 6 to 10 emails back once our video goes out. Hey, my sister's thinking of selling. Gosh, we're thinking of selling our house. My brother wants to buy. How much is this rental property? Things like that. So I'm usually better at responding to those than I am from getting your metrics and going, okay, these probably people wanted a home value search and these people wanted to do a property search. Okay. So I need to do a better job with that. That's an untapped resource that I need to do, honestly, a better job with.
Got it. Yeah, because I was going to say, I mean, are you currently calling those reports as they come in, the highlighted ones that we send you?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yes.
Unfortunately, I am not.
Okay.
I really, what I need to do, and it's a simple process. There's probably 20 or 30 that are yellow highlighted. It couldn't
Right.
get any easier, but people that want to know, search for homes, I should have Lindsay, who works with my buyers, take care of. People want to know their home value, I need to call them up. Hey, I noticed you want to get a home valuation, and just start the conversation from there. So so there's still plenty of meat on the bone. I'm not maximizing what you guys provide. I certainly should be doing that.
Got it. So, um, with your database, how have you seen it grow in numbers? Right now, I think the number you had was you have about 5,000 contacts in it right now.
I believe, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just based on from when you started with us to now, are you seeing a higher return that's predictable every month from sending the emails just because you have, 2,500 or 3,000 more contacts in your database? Have you seen it scale?
Absolutely. Yeah. The number of, nothing we love better than, getting 3 or 4 call-ins a week from a hot seller, hot buyer. That's part of mentally what I'm looking for every week is 3 to 4 call-ins. Somebody wants to list, somebody wants to buy, great hot people. Whether that's from my direct outreach, whether it's from the videos, whatever it is. So yeah, we've gone from probably 2,000 to close to 5,000. And I go in spurts where I'm focused on getting email addresses and so forth. And I go in sports where I'm really busy in the business or I lose a staff member and all we're doing is putting out fires. So I'm not thinking progressively. I'm thinking, hey, let's just hold on to what we got. So it has grown significantly, and I think it's critical to do so. We do look at like the opt-outs. So we might get, out of 5,000, we might get 5 or 10 when I look at them from time to time, not too many, but we also have a pretty darn good response rate is what I'm told in relation to some others. So my advice would be if somebody's just starting out or whatever, do several videos, have them critiqued, make sure you're concise, presenting something of value, and it's going to help your presentation skills when you meet with a seller or buyer. Learning how to present is a serious skill that we need to refine nonstop. And I've been doing this 25 years, and I've got plenty of room to grow.
Got it. So tell me, is there anything else that you're specifically doing with your database besides obviously the 2 videos a month that's proactive to help you generate more business from it or build it essentially?
One thing that might be a little different, I've been doing this probably 10 years and we're in a small town, is during the holiday season, I rent out a movie theater and I'll show like a family movie on a Saturday morning, like late November, early December. So we would just invite our past clients in Sphere, and that group's probably only 2,000 people. Okay, those are the people I'm calling on a regular basis. My viral people, there's 5,000. So we'll invite all the local people because we still have plenty in our database that were past clients that are in our database, but they live in Wisconsin or Fresno or whatever. So we'll invite them. Then we invited the local schools, and then we got offered some prizes. So we were getting everybody's email address. So we added a lot that way. And I also found one year when we were sending out the invitations, we went from a hard invitation to an email invite. Or actually, we did both. And I said, well, just send it out to everybody. Well, that was great because I just expanded my database, by probably 1,000 people just by taking every email address I have, sending out the movie invitation through your guys' assistance, and now they're getting my viral videos. So, here I am 52. I got somebody in my high school class from somehow I still have their email address who I haven't seen for years saying, hey, you're doing great in real estate. Good to know. We come through once in a while. So there's nobody that shouldn't get your videos. You should just send it to everybody. If they opt out, they opt out. But for the most part, you don't want to assume they want it or they don't want it. Send it to everybody for sure. That's something I learned. So that was a big boon doing that. And then, the occasional market value, the market's hot, the latest one you gave us, that's also a great resource too. So I do that occasionally.
Got the seller lead generation email.
Yes.
Nice. So did you send that out recently?
No, but we're getting ready. No, I just got it fine tuned because I'm switching my web page and my market valuation tool. I want to make sure that was working rather than sending it out and have it not work. So we haven't
Yeah,
seen it yet.
absolutely. Well, I look forward to hearing about the results with that. And for anyone that's watching, if you type in Google summer seller magical seller lead generation email, the email comes right up, and feel free to try to use it and get some seller leads. But yeah, I guess the only thing I wanted to ask you about is as far as prospecting, give me a little bit of the script that you're doing when you are following up or reaching out to your database, whether it's the seller or whether it's your buyer's agent. What are you guys saying to try to capture that business? I know people love to hear kind of scripts, and that's something that a lot of people struggle with, is that they don't know what to say when they're reaching out to people, especially if they don't have a very targeted list. We try to make it easy for our clients, obviously, by giving them a targeted list of people that are engaged. So it makes it a little bit easier to make that follow-up phone call. But talk a little bit about what you're actually saying.
Great, great. So, for example, let's say, Scott, we had a relationship and our kids went to school together. Okay, and we are acquaintance. I met you at a party. We saw you somewhere. So I might just call you up and you want to just role play it right now. You're that person.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to ring the phone, say ring ring, and you're going to say hello, and I'll say, hey Scott, this is Hal Sweasey from Bishop Speak School. How are you?
Good. I'm great. Thanks for calling.
Good. I'm Kyle's dad. You remember me?
I do remember you. Yeah, absolutely.
Terrific, terrific.
Yeah, our kids went to school together.
Yeah, so great. So I don't know if you know or not, but I sell real estate for a living. Were you aware of that?
I had seen some stuff somewhere. I'm not sure if I remember exactly, but yeah.
Great. So I work with a lot of the other parents in the school, and I was just wondering if you have a real estate for resource, if you ever have questions or have family members that need help, like buying or selling a home, or just have basic real estate questions. Do you have a local resource for that?
I actually don't have anyone specific that has reached out to me like that. No.
Great, great. Well, I would love to be that resource. I've been doing this 25 years and happy to just keep you updated on the market because people always have questions. It's on their mind, real estate. And if you don't have a resource, love to just touch base from time to time, see if you ever have any questions or if I can help you or anyone you know. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Terrific. Wonderful. Why don't I do this, Scott? I'll just jot down your address here. I actually looked your name up to the directory. You live on Elm Street?
I do. Yeah, that is correct.
Okay, great. I'll drop a card in the mail. And then what's your best email address?
Scott at blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, good. Well, hey, I appreciate it. Any questions I can answer for you at this time?
Well, I was going to ask, what type of market are we really in right now? Is it a seller market, a buyer's market? And what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's actually pretty balanced. We're seeing well-priced homes. I sell a lot of them over the asking price. And then we have a good buyer demand with rates so low. So how are you thinking of taking advantage of the market?
I've been in this home for 7 years, and we're always maybe considering doing a move up and something, not necessarily bigger, but in a different area that we might like to live in. I don't know.
Yeah, right. So the neighborhood that you've looked at and so forth. So yeah, I've got a lot of clients who are doing that and take advantage of the great rates right now. So probably the best thing for us to do, if that's something you're giving serious consideration to, is just sit down for 10 or 15 minutes. Obviously, you want to know what your home is worth, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see where we're at and with our mortgage and what it would look like if we were going to roll our money into a different home and how that would look. So.
And your goal, would it be to keep this home like as an investment, or would you feel like you need to get the equity out and just move it into the next house?
I think we'd want to get the equity out.
Sure, very normal. So what I'm going to do, Scott, is I'm going to have my lender give you a call because what you can pay for the next house is also important. Were you thinking of going up in price or staying about the same?
I think it's more about the neighborhood, the location. I was thinking, same price or maybe going up a little bit. Just depends on the style of the home that we're really looking for.
Got it. Okay, so something that you feel like would be a better fit for you, but about the same price, maybe a smidge more.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so when's a good time for us to meet? And then I'd go from there. So that's
right.
That's how I do it. Okay. So when I say, do you have a resource? They're either going to say yes or no. If they say yes, great. Do you mind if I touch base? If they say no, great. Do you mind if I touch base? And then they're going to say, if they say, yeah, I have a resource. Well, no need to touch base, Hal, because my sister's a realtor and I'd do anything with her. Okay, well, that's a no. They're not going in the database. Very rare.
Right.
Okay.
And what's great, everyone watching, what's great about what Hal did is he answered a question and then followed up with another question. And he kept controlling the conversation, leading it in the direction that he wanted to go to get the most information out of me, which kudos, Hal, that was awesome. What system are you using to have this information? I mean, do you have I'm assuming you have a CRM where you've like tagged different contacts, so you know like where that lead source came from, or whether they went to school with your kid, or whatever. That way you can tailor that conversation when you do call.
Well, again, I don't know. I don't know your background, so that was a cold. That was somebody I'm adding to my sphere. So it's just
Okay,
like, okay, I need to expand my sphere. Who do I know? Oh, let's get out the kids' school directory. Great. Okay, and my kids are in college now, so I don't do that anymore. But tennis club, golf club, ski club, church, whatever those groups are, you get that directory and go, okay, let's start calling and reaching out to people. So that's what that was. If
got it.
you're I'm putting you in the database, which is just top producer. So we keep notes in there, and then okay, they might want a bigger house, not now, maybe later. Sister might want to buy, the usual notes you keep on a client.
Perfect. And and piece of advice right there that Hal just said: get into networking groups. Get their directories. Great place
Right.
to start to get phone numbers for people to reach out to and become their trusted advisor. And Max, one of our clients, made a comment about how he sent the seller lead generation email out this morning, and he already has 4 seller leads. So excellent. Good job, Max.
Max is ahead of me.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get that one out for you and get some leads in the pipeline for you, and for you to make some phone calls, which is good. How is I don't really have anything else. Please, the viewers, if you guys have questions, we got another few minutes here. Is there anything else that you would, advise someone that, I talk to people all day and do consultations, and this is one piece that they're not doing most of the time. They aren't doing anything with this database. They aren't doing anything with the relationships they've built for 10 or 15 years. It's just sitting there. What piece of advice would you give them about, really utilizing these relationships in a database and doing some sort of marketing system to it, whether it's viral or something else, just to really add value and customize with a touch to, target certain people? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I think, I knew nobody in my town. I had no connections. So I basically just had to cold call. So I built up a pretty strong tolerance to just calling people up. But, I never wanted to tell people I know that this is what I did for a living. It took me a while to accept the fact that, this is what I do. And then I realized I can create value and provide a good service to people. So I think probably what stops people the most is the mindset. Like, oh, should I call Scott from school? What's he going to think? It feels like I'm begging. We all have the same thoughts about this. So you really got to get your mind in the right place and maybe change your perspective on that. I think the example I give people when they ask me about it is like, if you go to a great restaurant or you've got somebody that just, maybe they did a loan for you. It's like, wow, they got me this great rate. Okay. Or they're a friend of yours, and you do this great. And I call you up and gosh, I haven't done this for a while. So somebody provides that kind of value. If somebody does that for you, are you going to want to help them out?
Yeah.
Almost always, right? I mean, when you
Right.
see a great movie, you tell all your friends about it. So I think if you provide value to people, you're not, and I get that thought once in a while in the back of my head when the little drunk monkey starts talking, oh, you're just begging for business. Well, yes, I'm looking for business, but I'm providing a great value because at the end of the day, if you do your job well, you're going to provide a great service to either the person you're talking to or the person they refer you to. And they might go somewhere else where, a lot of us know there's agents that are not that committed. It's part-time. They may not do the best job. They may not get the best house. They may not negotiate the best price. So I think the perspective is that if you realize people want to help you, if you're the kind of person that they want to help and you provide a good job, then you'll have no problem reaching out to people. Okay, whether it's just to get a database, to ask for a referral, for whatever it is, because at the end of the day, this is a sales business and it does require direct contact with people, if you want to have a good growing business. Okay, so learn to be approachable and don't have any problem approaching people. Be there for them.
Right. That's huge what you said, and it's true too. Is it's if your agenda is only to sell and get business, then it's the wrong agenda. You need to be in the mindset of really trying to add value, and in turn, by helping and adding value, that's going to come in full circle to where you're going to be able to get more business, and it's just a way to grow. So I appreciate it, Hal. Thank you so much for your time. And if anyone wanted to maybe reach out to you and chat with you about what you're doing in your business, what would be a good way to shoot you an email or give you a call, or what's the best way to touch base?
Sure. Either one. So I'm with Remax here in San Luis Obispo, and my phone number is 805-781-3750, 805-781-3750, or they can email me directly at H like Hal, then my last name, which is a real funny spelling. So it's SWEASEY. So H Sweasey at Gmail. I think my name's on the screen, right?
Yep, it's right on the screen, so you can see that right there. And
yeah,
absolutely. And again, for everyone that's watching, and Raphael, if you type in Google summer 2015 magical seller lead generation, it should pop up right there in Google. Okay. And thanks everyone for joining us. Next month, we're going to have another great guest. I'm not sure who it is right now. And then real quick, before we go, we have one more question just pop in from Keith. I'm going to ask you real quick, Hal, do you target market geographically or demographically, or do you take all comers? I don't know if that's the right word you meant to use.
Sure. I think I know what the question is. I think it's like, how do you focus your time and energy, right?
Yeah.
So yes, I certainly do. Again, small market. So we'll have buyers that are looking in a certain area. So if we have a buyer that's looking around this school or around this neighborhood, that's where we'll try to focus our efforts. It makes it a little bit easier. Hey, I've got somebody looking in the neighborhood. So it makes it easier for us as agents, I think, if you have a compelling reason to call. My buyer's agent loves it when I take a good listing. It's like, oh boy, I can get on the phone and I'm excited to tell people about this. So when we don't have that, you still have to be as excited. But yes, I do target areas where the market has the most turnover, where it's the hottest, and then obviously the people that know me.
Right. Perfect. All right. Well, we're running out of time here. If there's no more questions, Hal, I really appreciate you jumping on with us today. And like I said, guys, we'll be back here next month. Probably be Frank, but maybe it'll be me with our next database hangout. We'll have another great guest to go through ways to really maximize and be successful marketing to the people that know, like, and trust you and want to give you business. You've got to add value. So thanks again, Hal. Appreciate you being here. And we'll talk to you all soon.
Thanks, Scott.